You are listening to From Ring to Veil.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kim.
And we are your wedding planning gurus.
We take the stress out
and put the fun back into wedding planning. Music and movie themed wedding ideas. Episode number 176.
Pause and subscribe to the show. If you have a minute, take a screenshot of the show on your phone and post it to Facebook or Instagram and tag us and let us know that you're sharing us.
Don't forget about our Facebook group, the From Ring to Veil Wedding Planning Community. It's on Facebook. It's awesome. We talk about all kinds of things, all sorts of things pertaining to wedding planning. Our people who are on there ask us questions. We have some vendors on there too. Even our Hall of Fame Alan Chitlick's on there.
And Kate from G Squared Weddings.
Also, Ginger Her is on there from Chalk Ink Style. She can talk all about invitations and calligraphy and signs and all kinds of stuff. So if you have questions about any of that, just ask.
And please make sure to answer the questions. There's only a couple and it's nothing very invasive. Please answer the questions because we're trying to vet everybody and make sure that we're not getting any spammers or trolls or anything like that in the nice and polite group. We're keeping the drama out, hopefully. So just answer the questions. If you're getting married,
just say yes.
Tell us yes and tell us when, and we'll let you in.
We have our Seattle metro area wedding planning resource guide. It's now available on Amazon. You can get it at fromringtoveil.com/RG paperback or fromringtoveil.com/RG Kindle. It'll take you right to Amazon. You can buy it from there.
If you do, make sure that you post a picture with your resource guide, whether it's a paperback or Kindle, hashtag FRTVRG, and we will find you and get a mailing address and send you a signed book plate or sticker, depending on what you have or want.
Do you want a fully customized wedding invitation suite? Well, we have a great place for you to go. It's called Minted. It has independent artists from around the world where you can get custom designs.
You can get a whole suite from save the dates to your thank you notes. And you can get free address printing. Just go to fromringtoveil.com/minted.
So we all know you love our wedding theme shows. So today we're talking music and movie themed wedding ideas. This is basic movies. This is like not movie fandoms, but movie, like film roles and, you know, how to make a movie. You have director's chairs, stuff like that, you know, not necessarily a single type of or single movie. Also, music. There's tons of music themed wedding stuff out there. So we tried to narrow it down a little bit for you. Don't forget, all of this is on our Pinterest pages. We'll have the link in the show notes. So it's from ringtoveil.com/176. So you can check it out that way.
You know, they can be really fun. You can go overboard with them. So you kind of have to just go walk the line on that. But you can get really fun with these themes. Mm-hmm. We decided to get your imaginations going by giving you some stuff. So we're going to start with the music themed wedding. We're starting with the pre-wedding stuff. So invitations, a few ways you could do those. Concert tickets. You can come up with your own concert tickets. Mm-hmm. You know, you're invited to our wedding, but in a form of a concert ticket. I think that would be really fun.
Also, there's a really cool save the date idea on here of guitar picks. So, I mean, if you're really into like guitars and stuff like that, you can, there's a picture of yourself on one side and your names and the date to save on the other side. So I think that's really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We pinned a lot because it was fun. It was really fun. So, I like that. And that's not too cheesy. Yeah. So that's going on the board. Concert posters for the save the dates. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool. You know how you get when you see a concert poster or post even for your favorite band. How fun would that be to have somebody create a concert poster for you?
There's a wedding invitation suite on here that's records, you know, like vinyl records. And their information is on the jacket of the record. And then inside is all the other information. So, I mean, it's cool. I just love this.
I know. It's a fun one. You can also use sheet music to back the pages of your invitations or save the dates, things like that. I think that really brings in the music theme.
Right.
People are going to be like curious as to what is this sheet music doing on here. And once you bring them in with that theme, when you come to the reception, you're going to wow them.
I mean, because when I was looking up stuff, I got more into the 80s type of music theme. And I got kind of stuck in there, and I'm like, oh, this is all cool. This is all cool. But then I'm like, well, not everybody loves the 80s because, most of the people that are getting married now weren't even born in the 80s. So, or the late 80s anyway.
That's right.
And so you don't really know cassette tapes and things like that, but stuff that we find nostalgic.
Yeah. But there's fun stuff that you can do with cassette tapes and stuff. People know what they are. They may not use them anymore, but.
Yeah. So for the ceremony, there's tons of guest book ideas out there. Like we said, the vinyl records. There's one that on here, which I was talking about cassette tapes. They have each cassette tape. It's a different table with their people that are sitting at the table on. And so on the tables, their table numbers are the cassette tapes that you find your names on. And so I think it's cool.
Okay, we were talking about guest books. Oh, you went from guest books to table numbers.
Well, I mean, it's a guest book. But anyway, okay, sorry.
So another guest book idea is a cymbal. If somebody plays the drums, you get a cymbal and you have them all sign that. I think that was pretty cool. Now, you could do a guitar, but guitars are a little bit more personal or something. I don't know
if you get an acoustic guitar that's not an expensive and it's not your favorite, you can just go buy one at like the pawn shop or something like that. You know, they can sign that. That's really cool.
And you could hang it on your wall. But you could even also get a cheaper one and deconstruct it and use the backing and have everybody sign that. And then you could either just hang that on your wall or have that framed. And again, that's if you're into guitars. Which, why wouldn't you be? Just saying.
Yeah. So guest books can also be like we said, sheet music too, to go if you send out the sheet music invites, you're going to have to continue the sheet music throughout your ceremony and reception. Mm-hmm. They can sign the line. You get blank sheet music, they can sign the lines of the sheet music. And so I think that's kind of cool too.
And they could even leave a little note if you have enough space next to your sheet music. All right, let's move on to the dress and the attire, I should say. There's some cute stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, from ties, bow ties to shoes with music notes and music pages on them, dresses that have staff music on them. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and you would think, I don't know about that. When you see it, you're like, wow, that's really pretty, actually. Yeah. Boutonnieres made of sheet music.
Mm-hmm. You can even do your bouquet as sheet music.
Right. Suspenders for guys that have staff music on it. Your favorite song. Yeah, I think it would be so cool if you're really into music, you're a musician, maybe you're a singer, whatever, and the bottom of the dress, the skirt of the dress, that's the word I'm looking for, is a sheet music from a song that's really special to you. Maybe it's your song, your couple song, if you have one even, or, like something that was playing the first time you met, whatever it was. I think that would be a really awesome way to kind of bring your coupleness into the ceremony. So for the decor and flowers during the ceremony, there's not a whole lot that we could find for this, just for the ceremony area. It's more for the reception. Mm-hmm. But there are a few things. I saw where they had a upright piano decorated with floral. You could definitely stand in front of that, and that could kind of be your backdrop for your wedding.
There's a giant chalkboard with music staff on it, and maybe you have somebody create that with your song.
Yes, that would be so cute. And then when it comes to the flowers, I mean, it just makes sense to have, even if you're having a real floral bouquet, you can add paper flowers in there with staff music or, something else that maybe it's got words to a song or something like that. You could definitely do that too. Mm-hmm. And for aisle runners, you can do what I saw was they made a cone out of the sheet music, and then they put a floral arrangement inside of that and hung that from the chairs.
Cute.
I thought that was a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
And you know how you can wrap candles or even LED candles in some kind of paper. You could do that also with sheet music to bring in that musical element.
So the papers that you need for your ceremony, like the program, sheet music, all of that stuff, you can also make them out of staff paper, concert posters, and things like that. If you're depending on what side of the music scene you're on.
That's right. That's right. Another, just to throw this in, another backdrop thing is you could have a harp, especially if you have a harpist. They could be up there on the stage area with you, which would just bring in a little more musical feel to the whole ceremony.
Mm-hmm. So talking about me and the 80s theme music, you could do your vows as 80s song lyrics because, the 80s, they had all the heartfelt guitar ballads, the hairband ballads, and they were all so like you listen to them and you're like, oh yes, that describes my significant other and me so well, And so maybe you incorporate those into your vows. But
that's right. I think that would be good. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 80s. You can find other ones, and use those. But I think that's fun. Throw some of those in there. Mm. And especially if you don't tell anybody and then see if anybody catches on.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
And you can also, on your entrance and exit music, you don't have to use the traditional processional and recessional.
Absolutely
use your song.
I didn't. I know we talked about this with Alan, but I didn't use the traditional stuff. So you don't have to either.
Okay, so now onto the reception.
This is where it gets really fun.
Yeah. So let's start out with the seating charts because it's the first thing you see when you walk into the reception, or I hope you see. So you know where to sit, where to put your hat, Anyway, seating charts. There's tons of stuff out there. The Billboard Top 100 list. Make them your guest names and put them on whatever table it goes on. Mm-hmm. LPs are vinyl records. To the people who don't know what an LP is.
Oh, come on.
Hey. As I said, CD covers, escort cards, concert tickets, the cassette tapes, make them different colors, figure out which table goes with what.
And you don't have to have real tapes. You could even do die cuts of tapes where they're actually a card they pick up.
Yeah.
Concert festival posters. The festivals usually have a whole bunch of different bands, and you could name each of your table a different band, and then under each table have your list of who's sitting there, and just make it really fun. You could go crazy with this, but just the one thing you need to do is make it kind of clear, make it clear where they're sitting. You are at table the Rolling Stones. You are at Michael Jackson's table. Whatever you want to say. Just make it clear that they know, so they know exactly where they're sitting.
Decorum Floral. You can incorporate flowers and sheet music and all kinds of things. You can stack books wrapped in sheet music on the table and put the flowers on top of it. You can wrap candles with sheet music paper. You can have guitars in the middle of the table if you want.
Or ukuleles. That would be so cute. All kinds of instruments. Drumsticks, even.
Yeah. There's tons of stuff.
Yeah. I think if you're going to do this and you guys are musicians, use what you do. If he's a drummer and you're a singer, microphones and drumsticks everywhere.
Right.
You don't have to throw a guitar in if none of you play it. But if you're just going for a general music theme and you've got drumsticks here, a ukulele there, a mic here, you can totally make it work for you. Picks everywhere. Those things are awesome.
Instead of like scattering gems or whatever, you can scatter the picks all over the table.
Ooh, even the flower girl could put picks on the ground instead of flower petals.
But somebody has to go back and clean that up, you know.
Still, yeah. You're right. Cymbals.
Yeah.
And there's this cutest thing on our Pinterest page, cassette tape vase. I imagine you can't put water in it, but you could make it to fit around the vases that you are using.
Make sure you can fit a vase in it.
It just looks really cool. Check it out if you haven't seen that.
Makes it glow, makes your table glow. It's really cool.
So part of Décor is table numbers, in which we've kind of hit on sheet music, albums, LPs, hearts and flowers everywhere. You can even do, which we haven't mentioned, is notes. You can do the bass clef or the treble clef or any kind of musical notes. Add those, scatter those around. For the table runner, you could get a piece of fabric that looks like sheet music, or just a clean piece of fabric, and then you could lay over that the music notes and the guitar picks or things like that. You can get really creative with that kind of a thing.
On to the food, our favorite part. So you're at a concert, say, you know, and what do you eat? You eat festival food.
That's
There's
right.
Tons of food. So have some food trucks. You know, go with the rock and roll theme here. Have some food trucks and get all the nitty gritty food out there.
You could even get into, if you don't want to do the trucks, you could serve festival foods like funnel cakes or drumsticks, you know, something like that. Corndogs, make it fun. You could serve all that instead of having the trucks, but I think the trucks are really fun. So I'm a proponent of that.
No. Plus, it helps small business. I mean, not
That's
that your
right.
caterer is a big, huge business either, but, you know, to me, it would take a caterer some cringing to say, yeah, I want corn dogs and hot dogs at my wedding. And the caterer's looking at you, you're like, eh.
Yeah, they might not like that so much. But I would say maybe not hot dogs, but corn dogs are absolutely a festival food.
I like hot dogs.
I know. But you could do that, definitely, especially if you're doing footlongs.
So drinks, you can come up with all kinds of drinks. There's all kinds of cocktails out there that have to do with music. Just Google them, make one up.
And then you could do fun straws. I bet you could find straws that have notes in it, or like a treble clef or some kind of fun thing. Or mocktails too. Cocktails or mocktails.
So cakes are cool. There's this one that looks like out there that looks like drums. Like the cake is like layers high and there are different sized drums on one side, and then on the other it's like a folded piece of fabric. So you don't actually see the drums on one side. And also, if you're a hard rocker, there's a cake out there with guitars on it, and Van Halen and Guns N' Roses and Led Zeppelin, and they're doing the rock and roll symbol on the top. That's your cake topper, which is really cool. So much you can do with the music themes. Yes.
Now for your exit, what kind of rock and roll musical type themes could you do for an exit?
You're at a concert, right? And they use all the pyrotechnics. So yeah, you can have a fireworks exit or a sparkler exit. Just make sure that you're allowed sparklers and fireworks at your exit.
That's right. What about the encore?
Yeah. See, you can come back, you can leave, and then come back again. Say, oops, we weren't finished. Wait a minute. One more song.
That would be funny. Have everybody chant. Shannon and Jeremy, Shannon and Jeremy, Shannon, whatever. Palmers.
Yeah, and give one last bow and then get in your car and go away.
There you go. And of course, the rock and roll symbol.
Yeah.
You gotta throw that up in the air.
You gotta throw that in there.
Now, we went the rock and roll way. You could go country music. You could go classical music. You could pick whatever genre you wanted and just make this all fit into that same streamlined, cohesive look throughout the whole thing, from your save the dates all the way till your encore. So you don't have to do just bland or basic. You could really make it work for whatever you guys love. I mean, you could do a screamo wedding. I mean, it's totally up to you. I don't know what that would do. You also probably need to consider your guests and what's going to make them feel comfortable and have fun and want to make them stay and party with you all night long. So yeah, you could really, really work this theme and make it very personal to the two of you. On to the movie theme wedding, which is, to me, was a lot harder.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, it's because we didn't have a movie,
a specific movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
So, yeah, what you can do is take these ideas that we're giving you and really make it specific to whatever movie you want to do, unless you just want to make it more of a general movie type theme. We've talked about fandoms before, right? Like
yeah, we
Harry
did,
Potter and Hunger Games, stuff like that. You could absolutely do these up like that. But for when you're doing a fandom, you're going to do more than just the movie. You know what I mean? It's more about what's in the movie.
Yeah, this is movie theme, like film reels and things like that. So maybe you're a movie producer or a director or something.
Yeah. Even an actor.
Right. This is more your theme.
You guys, that's your thing. What if you love movies and that's what you do every night and you have a podcast where you talk about movies? Here I'm saying if you want to do a podcast, do a podcast and let us know if you're doing a podcast. All right.
So you can have like an entrance like, they do at the Oscars where you're standing in front of a backdrop and you get your picture taken by all the paparazzi. That could be the entrance to the ceremony. That could be their wedding favor. Hello.
Absolutely. That would be so fun.
Where they're posing and all this stuff. And so they'll come in and then they'll have the guest book, which that could be tons of things. It could be a movie poster that they can sign.
What a playwright? What's that called? Like the book that you get?
The script.
The script. You could do like a script. But then you've got those little books that you get when you go to the theater and watch
the playbill.
Playbill.
The playbill, yeah. You can have that as like your program and all kinds of stuff.
You could even like use that whole theme throughout your wedding. So your save the dates, your invitations, and even you throw those into your engagement pics. If you're going to do a movie poster, somehow work those into all of those.
Yeah. Make your engagement photo a movie poster.
Yes. I mean, you definitely could. You could dress up as your favorite like characters from a movie. That would be so fun. Recreate a movie poster. Jaws. That would be a fun one. If you guys do that, let me know. Or tickets, right? So the invitation could be a ticket and the save the date could be a ticket. And you could have tickets in your engagement photos. And then your guest book could be some form of like a ticket book or something like that. I think if you're going to pick something, try to stick with it.
Decorum flowers, it could be classy because, you think about the Oscars. It's not over the top. It's classy. It's, gorgeous, of course. And very opulent. You can have those if you can, if you need to have all the floral, that like high-end florals and stuff like that decorated, and have the altar decorated with all kinds of flowers, candles, of course.
What you could do is make it kind of look like a ticket booth, sort of. And that could be your backdrop. And it doesn't have to be like an actual ticket booth. You could have a backdrop that you could do a big chalkboard and somebody could draw a ticket booth on there, or the marquee.
Yeah. Or you could have your wedding ceremony at a theater.
That's right.
That's the ultimate movie theme right there. So you have your names on the marquee. You have your guests sit in the movie, in the movie theater seats. And then you're up at the top, you're getting married, and then the vows, maybe they can be movie lines, famous quotes from movies.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Throw some of those in there. And again, don't tell anybody. See if anybody claps or laughs or thinks that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would say the classic dress for this would be the tux with tails and a bow tie for the guys. I mean, if most people that are going, like, let's say to the Oscars or whatever, they're really done up nicely.
Yeah. Or old Hollywood glamour, like,
Yes.
the starlets of the 40s and early 50s, the long silk tresses, the columns, and, the nice waves of the hair and the long, just do it up the way you want. If you're like a fan of the old Hollywood movies, the classics, the silver screen ones, then hey, make that a theme.
Mm-hmm. Or you can find a dress that you fell in love with from whatever movie it was and either have somebody custom make it, maybe not exactly the same, but, just to pay homage to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be super simple for a designer. If you take it to them, they could probably make you something gorgeous.
Okay, so on to the reception. There's tons of stuff for the reception. Seating charts. Of course, we have the movie posters and all kinds of things. And then you can get the tickets, and it can be, going to what table you're going to.
Right.
And different movies for different tables and things.
We saw there's a cute one that's a pile of VHS tapes. People might be like, what are these? But I think that's kind of fun. And that tells you where everybody's sitting. There is a now showing poster sign where you can put everything on there. Each table has a different movie, and that's where you list who's sitting there. Mm-hmm. Or each table could be a different theater number. Or you're in theater number 2. You're in theater number 6. Tiny clappers. Those little plastic clapper. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get those and put their table numbers. They're little escort cards, if you will.
Backdrops again. You can do the red carpet runway thing again into the reception if you want to, or if you did it at the ceremony. You don't need to really do it at the reception, but
that's right.
Hey,
but you could.
Yeah.
You could make it look like the stage of the Oscars if you wanted to, with the red drapes or purple or whatever color really goes with what you're doing, like the big velvet. You can make it look like a theater or with the big Oscars standing on the sides. I bet they have cutouts of those.
Oh yeah, and plus, if you're doing that, you can put them on the table, and
little ones.
Yeah, and then you can make them have flower arrangements on the top for the globe that they hold up. So, there's tons of stuff.
Exactly. You could do little Oscars as your escort cards to tell people where to sit.
And, for the table decor, they have movie reels. They have popcorn boxes with flowers in them. They have all kinds of things you can do.
Clappers. Those are fun. I'm just saying, if you do those as your escort cards, they could also be little favors that they can take home to play with.
And of course, if you have special seating for you and your significant other, they can have director's chair with Mr. and Mrs. or, bride and groom or whatever on the back of them. You can sit in them and take pictures, and maybe they can interview you. Mm-hmm. Do a little movie reel right there.
That would be fun. Yeah. Have it even if that's not at the table and you have that set in the corner, have the bride sit there and people come up and do a little interviews with her. And that's, how you used to have somebody walk around with the recorder and just ask everybody questions, say a little something to the camera. You could have people sitting there interviewing them and talking to them and giving advice or whatever you want to do while your videographer is there, or maybe has set up a little booth to record you guys. That would be really fun.
So it's also cool, like at the end of the evening, they have a little snack section where it's all movie snacks. The big boxes of movie snacks that we all love that it costs an arm and a leg at the movies.
That's right.
That you could get for $1 at Target.
And then take into the movies, but which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, we don't do that at all.
No.
Never.
Of course, you got to have a popcorn thing somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
You have to have popcorn.
And this is where hot dogs come in. They have hot dogs and nachos. Come on.
The big fat pickles.
Oh my gosh. I just don't get that, but okay. Yes. You could, oh, this would be so fun. I want to go to one of these. I've never been to a movie or music themed wedding. Somebody invite me. So with the food, you could probably just go traditional, either your regular buffet or sit down dinner, and not really do too much to bring in the movie part of it. Yeah. There are movie theaters that serve dinner, so you could say that that's what you're doing. And then, like Shannon said, do the snacks too. Have the snacky tables set out. Drinks, same kind of thing. Mocktails, cocktails with fun names, right? Or maybe, like in the movie that you really love, somebody drinks something certain, and you could specific that you can name it to that. I'm trying to think.
You know, the Sex and the City thing. They always drank Cosmopolitans. So hey, have Cosmopolitans there for your entertainment. Maybe you and your significant other made a movie prior to this. You can show the movie. Maybe it's just you and him or you and her. Somebody filmed it, or it's how did they got to this point?
Right. That would be fun. That'd be really fun if they did an actual little short movie, especially if you guys are into it, and that's something that you love doing, making movies, even if you're not a real quote unquote.
Well,
producer.
I mean, it could be like a documentary.
Yeah, that's
true. Have like interviews and how they met, and interview parents and friends and all kinds of stuff. So I think that's kind of cool. They have a lot of cute cakes on our Pinterest page. We're not really going to go into it a lot. There's some with movie, film wrapped around it and things like that. I mean, it's kind of like the table decor. They have tons of stuff for movies.
That's right. They do. You could even do a smallish cake like we've talked about, and then serve sheet cake or little cupcakes with some kind of like a music film or whatever.
Yeah.
Little cameras, something like that.
And the exit, I was thinking about this. I think you can have the paparazzi chase you out to your getaway car.
Give everybody little cameras and flashing, flash as you walk down.
Like you're trying to get away from the paparazzi.
That would be fun. Okay, well, we had some fun with this, I think, and hopefully it gives you guys some ideas to go on and work with. Again, these are just general. You can take them and run with them if you want to make them about specific movies, songs, artists, bands, whatever. You can absolutely do that. Just maybe use some of these as a little guide to, okay, now we need a cleverly named cocktail. What should we call this? Just use this as a bit of a guideline to help you plan these themed weddings. If you have any other themes that you want our help with, please let us know by either joining our Facebook group, From Ring to Veil Wedding Planning Community, or emailing us info@fromringtoveil.com. And we will certainly try to help you with that. Maybe even turn it into a whole show.
Don't forget about wedding timelines and checklists on our website. It's at fromringtoveil.com/checklist. It's $2.99 for 20 pages plus of checklists, budget sheets, things that you can write on because you can print it out, plan your wedding from there.
Subscribe to the podcast. We're everywhere you can listen to podcasts now, I believe. If there's somewhere that you can't find us, please let us know. Some of these places are Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, Alexa, and of course, Apple Podcasts.
And until next time, no stress, no worries. Keep calm and listen on.
Music provided by bensound.com.